Hello and welcome to Big Orbit Games unboxing video of the brand new Star Wars Destiny Dyson card game by Fantasy Flight Games. My name is Simon, I'll be doing the unboxing today. So what we're going to be opening up here is the Kylo Ren starter set. So this is a brand new game by Fantasy Flight Games. So it's a Dyson card game. It looks like great fun. It is not, and I'll put this out straight away, this is not a Dice Masters game. This is quite different from anything like that. So what I'm going to do though is open this up. This isn't an in-depth tutorial. I will be explaining some rules and features of the games throughout just to help explain what cards are, but mostly this is to show you what you're getting inside here. So first things first, you get this fold out. So this explains all about how to play the game. So this is your how-to. So this is the Star Wars Destiny how to play. And it goes through all the rules, so setting up the game, how to do actions throughout the game, little important bits of information to remember. And on the back it explains all the different actions you can do and the different terms used in the game. And then customization at the end, which is important if you're looking to expand from the starter set. The starter set only has 20 cards in it. You do need 30 for a standard deck. So immediately if you want to start playing anything other than Starter v Starter, you're going to need to expand from what you've got. So keep hold of this because you might want to reference it for its rules and usefulness as you're learning to play. Next up, you have a leaflet which is just a list of all the cards that are available in the set. So you have the starter cards, the commons and uncommons, and then rares and legendaries, with rares and legendaries coming with their own single dice. And you'll find these in the boosters, and if you're curious about the boosters, feel free to check out my booster openings in the other video. So this is just a nice little checklist of all the cards that are available in the game, so you can sort of plan things out a little bit if you're just have a mooch around and if you're curious. You also get tokens, because what Fantasy Flight game is without tokens? So here you have resources, damage markers, and shields. Nice and simple. Nothing that couldn't really be represented by utilising dice. However, obviously, resource tokens and stuff look nice on the field. So it's entirely up to you how you want to use them. They're there for you, and they do look good. And they're a good way if you're going to first start playing is to use these. And then as you get more advanced, you might just want to switch over to dice or nice acrylic tokens, which I'm sure someone's making. So let's open this bit up. So you have your cards there on the top layer, and then inside are your dice. So while I talk about that, I learned this from the Ray video. This is going to take me a few minutes to open, so while I open that, my hands are going to go off the screen. Let's just talk about the dice. So first of all, the dice is quite a nice storage tray in there, as you can see, which is useful because the dice are a bit bigger than what you'd usually expect. Sorry, almost got this off. So I don't particularly want to show me using a knife on the screen, you know? Let's not encourage knife fighting. There we go. So, got them out of the cellophane prison. And a cough. So, the dice are bigger than what I'd expect them to be. I mean, they're sort of like, 3 to 4 times the size of your standard D6, if you will. And one thing to point out, it looks like these are covered in stickers. That's what it looks like, but they are not. I mean, I'm scratching there right on with my nail. These are printed on, they are not stickers. They just, unfortunately, I don't know, there's something about the way they're designed that just makes them look a bit cheap and tacky, unfortunately. I don't know if it's just because they're so rounded or not. They've also got quite a fair bit of weight to them. It's going to make a bit of a clunky noise, but because you're not going to be constantly rolling them, you're only rolling them a few times, I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. So you get all the dice you need for the set in here, and then room to expand with some more later on, which I'm sure you will do, especially if you enjoy the game. You're going to want to get hold of more and more. So let's take a look at the cards. So first up, we will show you these top two, which is the characters. So the characters are the main part of the game. So if your characters die, or if you have no cards left in your hand and deck, you lose the game. So these are very important to the game. So the way they work, you can see they have health at the top. Kylo has 11, the Stormtrooper has 7. Down the side is representation of what is on their dice. Then you have their cost in points. So when you're constructing a team, you can have a cost of up to 30. So you can spend up to 30 points on heroes. The first value lets you have 1 dice. The second value lets you have 2 dice. Or in the Stormtrooper's case, there's only 1 value, so there's only 1 dice. So as you can see, you get 2 Kylo Ren dice and 1 First Order Stormtrooper, so you've got 3 dice in total, 7, plus the higher one of 13 is 20 points in total, so you've got plenty of room to expand here. Then underneath the, where it says character, just to reiterate what they are, you have an ability. So the Stormtrooper has no ability on him, just flavor text. It's a Stormtrooper, come on. Whereas Kylo Ren has a special ability. So his is choose an opponent's character and then look at a random card in that opponent's hand and deal damage to the character equal to the cost of the card you just looked at. So on average, it's going to probably be 1 to 2 damage. There are a couple of 3-cost cards, but there's also a couple of 0-cost cards, so it is a gamble utilising that ability. So there you go, those are your 2 characters for the deck. So next up we have the battlefield, which in this case is the frozen wastes on the Starkiller base. So what happens is you roll off at the start of the game to see who starts with the base, and then the opponent can use an action to claim it. When they claim it, they resolve this ability. Remove a character die in this case. Oh, that's nasty. However, they can only be claimed once per round, and when they're claimed, the opponent has to pass all of their remaining actions. So it's the last thing you're going to do effectively. So we're on to the actual deck. So you get, like I said earlier, you get 20 cards in here. You'll need 30 for a standard deck, but for start of your starter, you get 20 cards, which is fine. So, this is an event card, the best defense, ... It costs 1 resource to play, and you deal one of your red characters 3 damage to remove up to 2 of an opponent's dice. So you're going to have to harm yourself, unfortunately, like this poor trooper here, but you do get to remove your opponent's dice, which limits the amount of actions and abilities they can do. So, you know, it's a gamble, but one almost worth it. And you see underneath it says the villain affiliation, and also just says red there, just in case you happen to be colourblind and can't see the red, etc. Which, you know, I know people who are, so I appreciate that they've actually written down there what colour it is. But yeah, so it's a villain association card, so you can only have it in a villain deck. And you get one of those. We have the First Order TIE Fighter. So it's a 3-cost card. It is a support vehicle. So it comes with a dice, and you can see here what the dice is. And you have the special ability, remove all shields from all of an opponent's characters. Ooh. That's pretty nasty, removing shields, because shields allows you to obviously take a few extra hits. So we'll just quickly go through the dice symbols here. So that is, so the 1, 2, and 3 there are ranged attacks, which is what the gun symbol means. And the third one here, which is 3 and a gun, costs 1 resource to play as well. The next one is a disrupt, which removes, I've completely forgotten what that was, the disrupt moves. Is it a dice or a shield? I can't remember which one. My apologies that I can't remember. I'll remember shortly. Like I said, I'm still learning the game. So, but yeah, that's 1 and a disrupt. I just can't remember what the disrupt removes for the minute. And then that is the special ability symbol, which is down here. So when you roll that facing, you can use that ability. Then we have the F11 D Rifle. It costs 2 resources to play. It is an upgrade weapon. So this attaches to a character and gives them a dice, an extra dice to use. And then it has the special ability Force an opponent. Sorry, that was really dramatic because I'm full of cold. So force an opponent to deal 2 damage to their characters, distributing the damage as they wish. So 2 on 1 or 1 on each or something like that. So it does a little bit extra bit of damage, which is quite cool. And then the dice result is 2 damage, but with the resource, and then these pluses here. So these plus ones, you have to already be using a dice with a ranged attack to be able to add them on. They can't be used just on their own for the ranged attack. And then that one gives you a resource and then a special ability and a blank underneath. We have Enrage, quite an iconic scene from the film. 0 cost event. Deal 1 damage to one of your blue characters to gain 1 resource. Nice and simple what it says on the tin. Resource gain in return for a bit of damage. Oh, Darth Maul, cool. So he's on the Intimidate event card. 0 cost. Remove all shields from a character. There's no going to be sneaking, hiding behind behind shields. Here we have Power of the Dark Side. 2-cost support card. So support cards go out into play and sit near your characters, not underneath like upgrades, but next to your characters, and they can often have an action which requires exhausting. So this one does. So as an action, you can exhaust the support to reroll one of your dice, and if that die rolls a blank, deal 2 unblockable damage to a character. Oh, it's a bit of a gamble, but yeah, potential to do some damage there, and you get 2 of those. Immobilize is an upgrade ability. It's a 2-cost, blue characters only, and it's an action. Remove this die to turn a die to a side showing a blank. Cool. So yeah, just deny your opponent basically. Nowhere to run. So this is a 2-cost event. Turn each of your dice showing a blank to any side. Oh, you see a little combination going on there. Infantry grenades, 2-cost upgrade weapon, and it's deal 2 damage to each of an opponent's characters. Discard this upgrade from play though, which is a shame. You have to remove it, but it is a grenade. They tend to be one-shots, don't they? That was its special ability, by the way. Here we have Disturbance in the Force. Mr. Tarkin there. 1-cost event, reroll all dice. Boom. All dice rerolled. Nice. Use the Force, 1-cost event. Spot a blue character to turn a die to any side. Spot a blue character means you have to have a blue character in play. So in this instance, if Kylo was unfortunately had already been taken out, you wouldn't be able to use that ability. Here we have a Lightsaber. It's a 3-cost upgrade weapon. Redeploy. So after its character is defeated, move this card. So normally an upgrade when a character is defeated just goes to the discard. However, with redeploy, you can move it to someone else. And then special action is special ability is deal 2 unblockable damage to a character. Unblockable bypassing shields. There's a lot of anti-shield in this, isn't there? Here we have Mind Probe. This is a 4-cost, which is probably one of the highest I've seen so far. Upgrade ability, blue characters only. Force ability is deal an opponent's character 1 damage for each card in that opponent's hand. Ooh, so that's probably, I mean, you start with 5 and you usually have 5 in your hand, so unless you've started playing cards already, if you can do this early, get that special ability off early, oh, that's nasty. Aim is an event card, 1-cost, turn one of your dice to a side showing range damage, and yeah, the artwork just reminds me of the last Starfight with the we're locked under the moon's gravitational pull, what do? We die. It's just, it reminds me of that scene every time. Good old lord. So, block, 2-cost, an event, remove all of an opponent's dice showing melee damage, so just denying them their dice, straight up. Close Quarters Assault is a 0-cost event. Count the number of dice you have showing melee damage. Discard that many random cards from opponent's hand. Just sheer disruption, just, you're not allowed cards. How mean. Dodge is a 2-cost event. Remove all of an opponent's dice showing range damage. Again, very similar to the other one, just disrupting your opponent. Flank, which has some of my favourite artwork, just because it's a Wookiee jumping down. I just really like the way they've done the fur. 1-cost. Play only if you have more ready characters than your opponent. Remove one of that opponent's dice. So just deny them, basically. Take cover is a 0-cost event to give a character 1 shield. Well, seeing as you're stripping your opponent of so many, why not have one yourself? And then lastly, we just have a rules reference. This gives you a list of all the actions you can do. So play a card from your hand, activate a character or support card, resolve your dice, discard a card to reroll your dice. And the way that works, you discard a card from your hand, choose the number of dice you want to reroll and reroll them all. You can't just reroll dice, reroll dice, reroll dice. You have to pick them all at the same time. Use a card action or claim the battlefield. And then we have the dice symbols there. So range damage, melee damage, focus turns the dice to a new side. Disrupt is discard a resource. There we go. I will remember that eventually. Shield gives you a shield. Discard forces about discard a card. Resource gains you that many. Special lets you use that ability. And then blank is sadly blank. So a little rules reference there for you just to remember everything by. So there we go. That is everything you get in the Kylo Ren starter set. So this one's a little bit more disruptive than the Rey starter, I feel. It seems a little bit weaker just because you've only got Kylo and the First Order Stormtrooper, so the total health is a little bit lower as well. However, they've got more ways to do things like strip shields and bypass and deal extra damage, so maybe it's not as weak as it looks. And again, you've got to consider the dice that you can get off with the upgrades and stuff like that. So whilst on the surface it looks weaker, I think in play they will turn out to be fairly well balanced. So there we go. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them below in the comments. Of course, I am still learning this game as of producing the video, so I may have made mistakes throughout the video, so please forgive me and apologise for any that I have made. Like I said, I am still learning, so... But yeah, feel free to ask any comments, ask any questions you'd like to below about the game or about the set. Otherwise, like and subscribe, that'd be great. You can check out my Ray starter set opening and my booster openings as well if you're more curious about the rest of the game. Also to note, we will be selling individual cards for this game, so individual cards and individual dice on their own. So if you're after those extra one-off cards, we will be selling them, so that's on bigorbitcards.co.uk. Other than that, I hope you have enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.